just contradicting himself, saying that the Clinton and her aides were extremely careless with the way they handle. Yeah, they could care less about the rule of law.
She was very careful to cut the tops off.
Yeah, and then saying that they mishandled it. Well, why not at least charge her with mishandling classified information? You know, General Petraeus, the same thing happened to him. I mean, that's at least just a misdemeanor, but not even that. And to just say that they were careless with the way that they did it. Her aide admitted that they burned her daily schedule. Why? Who are you meeting with that you need to burn your schedule? And then the fact that they're destroying federal documents. And they know that they did that. And not to mention the fact that she certified under penalty of perjury that she'd fully complied with the court order. She handed over all of her official emails to the State Department. But we know again and again that that is absolutely false.
She used it as a drop box for clandestine espionage.
And then this is what we found out during the Benghazi hearing, the Benghazi committee, which they said, oh, they didn't get her at all. What a waste of time. Well, so this was in October 2015. Secretary Clinton could not explain why she failed to turn over 15 Libya-related emails. And her response is, I was under no obligation to make any of my emails available unless I decided they were work-related.
Remember, though, first she said a few years ago she didn't even have a server or other emails.
Right. No, she said she only used one phone. Meanwhile, she's been photographed with multiple devices.
And Comey just says there's nothing there.
That's what just makes me so angry is that now the president is flying her around on Air Force One. It's just an additional slap in the face to the American people.
Millions of dollars a day.
Not only are we not going to charge her with anything, she's going to get away with the crime, we're also going to fly her around on your dime because she's the exalted goddess, Hillary Clinton. But check this out. So this is what, explain this to me. So Comey says, to be clear, this is not to suggest that in similar circumstances, a person who engaged in this activity would face no consequences. To the contrary, those individuals are often subject to security or administrative sanctions, but that's not what we are deciding now. So if anybody else does what Hillary Clinton did, they'd be in big trouble, but not Hillary Clinton. Nope, she gets flown around on Air Force One.
It's this gimmick. It's the gimmick that she's a woman.
It's just, this is who they want. It's her time. It's already been decided. They asked her to step down because it was Obama's time in the past. Now it is her time, and they'll do whatever they can. And
here's my next question.
What it looks like.
Here's my next question. We're going to Jakari. What does your intellectual, but also your gut level tell you about what she'll do when she gets in?
Well, I think Jerome Corsi nailed it. I mean, she is, we've had prophets say, that Obama would be the last president. I truly feel like that could possibly happen. If she becomes the president, she will become a dictator. So many things will happen under her, and she's just going to go.
That's what Secret Service agent Burns said on her last week. He said she wants a socialist dictatorship.
Yeah, and all these people who over the weekend were hashtagging America was never great, you're going to get what you've asked for. Exactly.
America has had a lot of problems. We talk about it, but they don't even teach U.S. history anymore except bad stuff. What about compared to all the other countries?
Right.
Because they only teach you what America did that was bad. Why did everybody want to come here then? Because compared to other places, it was great in many ways, and its ideals helped lead the world in women's rights and in so many other issues. Now, England led the world in ending slavery, and then we were kind of late to the game in that. But I mean, it's just so crazy how these socialists holding up their smartphones and all this stuff bitch about everything when it's the ultra elite that are funding them to help overthrow the middle class, so there's no way out. Jakari Jackson, your take on Hillary and where all this is going.
Well, just like that caller that you had on earlier in the show, I believe he said he was some kind of a defense contractor. And he said that he's not allowed to use the government information on his personal phone or send it to a personal email and all that. And you look at the actions of Mrs. Clinton, who's doing that exact same thing, and you contrast that with Guccifer or Bradley Manning or Snowden or Assange, all these guys who get this classified information, they want to run them through the ringer. But you have Mrs. Clinton, who's very much aware of that she's not supposed to do this, because your caller knows that. Of course, she has to know this, but she just gets away with it because she's Mrs. Hillary Rodham Clinton.
That's right. Jakari, what do you think she's going to pull once she gets in? Because, we've already seen what they've done so far, and it seems like everything is accelerating. What do you think is going to happen?
I think she's going to go a whole hog if she gets in there. She's going to try to pass everything that's been shot down, whether it's gun control or this new politically correct movement. I guess it's not new, but growing in strength politically correct movement. she's going to do everything that she wants to do. She's going to keep telling these whopper lies about how she dodges sniper fire like she's Neo in the Matrix and all these other things that she's been doing the entirety of her career, and always run into these people. She's so experienced. People just hate her because she has so much experience. Well, let's look at her track record. What has she actually done that was good? She lies about everything. You know, she's covering, or she calls bills bimbos, or whatever the terminology was. She talks to the Benghazi victims. She promises she's going to help them. And then when they come out and want some accountability, she calls them liars. She tells them to get over it. We have the article up just last week about the Benghazi widow who said, Mrs. Clinton, you said you're going to help me, and now you're telling me to get over it.
Yeah,
this is the type of action that we can expect from a President Clinton.
Now, going to David Knight. David, let me ask you this question. What do you really think's going on here? Why is she so above the law? She looks like she's half dead. Clinton looks like he's going to die any minute. I mean, seriously. I said he was like a reanimated corpse a few years ago out of Day of the Dead, but he looks like he's dying, like people I've seen that are, you know, a month away from dying of cancer. David Knight, why are the elites so behind him? They would put us to sleep if they put somebody younger in, or somebody who didn't have all this baggage. Is this just the arrogance of the elite, or what are they planning?
Yeah, Alex, she's the only dog they've got in the fight at this moment. You know, we've had situations in the past. So you look at 4 years ago, we had Obama and we had Romney. What they wanted then was Obamacare. They were going to get it whether they got Romney or Obama. And that's the way they like to play. They like to have two people on either side, this fake choice that they present.
That's what Carroll
you.
Quigley said in Tragedy and Hope. He said, we just have two different parties, but really they're closely tied, so we get the same agenda regardless. But Trump upsets that.
And you see that the establishment elite in both parties are very concerned about Trump. They want to do anything, no matter how blatant it is. And Alex, as I pointed out on Sunday, this was an orchestrated cover-up. We could see this developing. And I knew, and I said it on Sunday, I said, look, if you had any doubts as to whether or not she's going to get indicted, look at the fact that they scheduled the FBI meeting on the Saturday around the 4th of July weekend. That's, other than like the last Saturday before Christmas, that's the time that they could, only time they could pick where there'd be fewer people paying attention to this. And that's precisely what they've done. If you look at it a week ago, we had the Snakes on a Plane meeting. And she says, well, it was just personal information. Look, we understand that Attorney General Lynch is a close personal friend of Bill Clinton. That's why she should have recused herself even before this meeting, which violated every ethical standard that the American Bar Association or any other legal group would have there. She had a close personal relationship. She had a close working relationship with him. He is the one who gave her all of her big career breaks. They had a close political relationship. Those are the three tests as to whether or not you should recuse yourself.
Plus,
she checked all three boxes.
That's key. But plus, they had the FBI order the cameras turned off. I want to go back to you, David Jakari, on this, but let me ask Leanne this question. Why have the meeting? Why try to cover it up? Then why to try to act like it's no big deal once they did it? I got to tell you, it's like they did it on purpose. They know how to secretly meet and not have to be on a tarmac in front of 50 reporters. When Lynch was one of the hottest interviews at the time, being chased around, why are they doing this? Nichols knew them well, helped put them in power. He said they want to break our will.
I agree. I agree. And that's almost that's how I feel like my will is broken. Like they put it out in your face. They even leaked conveniently that Hillary Clinton is considering keeping Loretta Lynch on as the attorney general if she gets elected. You know, it's like they're just putting out this information to just show us how above the law they are and how we're powerless. They can do whatever they want. The rules don't apply to them.
Jakari, do you think it's that, or do you think we're reading more into it? I mean, it's crazy how arrogant they are.
I think they honestly feel that they are above the law, and to an extent, they have proved that. It's to a point now where they're just going to do anything they want because they know that nothing's going to happen to them. They're just going to come out there with the media machine, the politically correct machine. You hate Hillary because she's a woman. You don't want to see the first woman president. That's all they have. And to go on what David was talking about, Lynch's personal relationship as it comes to the Clintons, okay, maybe they are close personal friends in real life, but if you get selected for jury duty and you know the accused, you're not going to get selected for that jury. It's just that simple. Meanwhile, they have them running around investigating them, and they're hanging out talking about supposedly golf.
Well, she offered that as an excuse. Yeah, it's not an excuse. It's a reason that she shouldn't have even still been in that position as a prosecutor or judging the evidence.
If you're a judge, a prosecutor, or a witness in a trial or in a criminal case, you don't talk to the other people outside of court or a registered, police interrogation room. You do not talk to them.
Yeah.
No, I mean, what do we do at this point? How do we let this stand? I mean, that's what it is. They're breaking our will to let us see that we are completely powerless, but we're not powerless. How do we change this?
That's a good question, David. I mean, how do you think we changed it? I mean, I think in the court of public opinion, we destroy these people. We don't just lay down and have them break our will, just like they tried to break our will with the British exit. We just go to the next level. They're never going to give up. We're never going to give up. And that's what we have to understand. This is the animating contest of liberty. David?
As we were talking about this morning, Alex, it is really their declaration of independence of the rule of law. Because as we saw last week, not only did she not recuse herself, as I point out, because of these close personal relationships, but then they did it in our face, as you're pointing out, with a declaration. Then the day that we learned about that, which was 2 days later, last Wednesday, they come out and say, we're not going to release any of the emails for at least 27 months. That was something the State Department wanted, and that was something the Department of Justice under Lynch said we're not going to do. Then we find out they're going to hold this meeting at the time that nobody's going to pay attention to it. When I heard that they were having, the FBI was going to have the meeting today on Hillary Clinton, I told my wife, I said, that's it. They're not going to do anything at all to her. Right. But then when he started to talk about this, Alex, and he started to lay out all the details of what they had to do with their investigation, how they found 110 classified emails, and that was a felony, I said, I can't believe this. Sounds like he's going to indict her. And then he does a complete 180 again and says, they're felonies, but we don't really care. Yeah. Just don't try this at home.
They're covering Obama. They're covering for Obama. He won't even have to do a Nixonian pardon.
Yeah.
They're not even have to do a pardon because they're just going to have the bureaucracy pardons you now. This is really almost a coup of the bureaucracy. This means if you can get in as the Attorney General or the head of the FBI, you run the country pretty much. I mean, this is way beyond J. Edgar Hoover at this point. Stay there, guys. I'm going to go right to the calls here. Brady, Sargent, Shane, Vincent, Denise, your call straight ahead. Your comments. We're going to get you on, but your quick comments straight ahead, callers. So get ready. Leanne McAdoo, Alex Jones, Yakari Jackson, David Knight, all reporting from the InfoWars News Center in Austin, Texas, broadcasting worldwide. And you heard Dr. Corsi earlier. He says they're going to criminally come after their political enemies. That's exactly what Larry Nichols said last Friday. So this is serious. We're extending the 4th of July Independence Day sales on 20 to 40% off storable foods, water filters, you name it, at InfoWarsStore.com. Be sure to take advantage of that. It's one thing I can do is just get ready myself and fight as hard as I can to wake people up. We're doing a roundtable discussion in here a little bit in the next hour. Then Roger Stone joins us with a lot of breaking news in the Clinton crime family and on the attempts to ban pro-Trump rallies at the RNC, but they're going to let the Democrats operate. This just shows the fix is in, but don't let them oppress you as a political group. Don't let them silence you. Because if they're able to intimidate us and shut us up, then we're in a lot of trouble. This is a fight. Brady in Virginia, thanks for holding her on the air. Go ahead.
Hi, guys. I basically share the same frustration from the FBI's comments this morning. But I also had a thought going forward. I'm wondering, even after the liberal media and the Democrats have criticized the Bill Clinton Loretta Lynch meeting, do you think Bernie Sanders will still sell out and endorse Hillary?
Absolutely. He's a socialist. He wants to gut this country. He hates it. He wants to see it brought down so him and his little commissars can divvy up the money and sit there in their duchies. And that's how this always works. These are predators. I mean, I believe he is a predator. He says a lot of stuff that sounds good on the surface, but he's a hardcore predator. When it comes time to him to really go after the Federal Reserve stuff, he doesn't. So that's my view on Sanders. What do you think? What do you think, Jakari? What do you think, David?
Well, I agree with what you said right there. When you have a guy like Bernie Sanders, of course, he's not exactly happy as to what happened between him and Clinton in the primaries. But at the end of the day, he's going to support that party because it's the closest thing to the socialist utopia that he'd like to see happen.
Right.
Yeah, I think he was waiting in the wings, Alex, to see if they're going to indict Hillary Clinton and if that was going to change things at the Democrat Party. But I don't think he ever had a chance. The Democrat leadership would not have given this to him. I think they would have put in Joe Biden. I think they're that corrupt.
Yeah, it's a Politburo cult. They're the Central Committee, and now they admit that. They just appoint who the nominees are, and Trump's not playing along, so the fix is in.
That's right. And you talk about what's going to happen next. We understand what's going to happen next because we've seen what they have done coming after whistleblowers. Look at the case of Thomas Drake, for example. Again, saying that he had classified emails on his computer, which he didn't. But they tried to put him away for 35 years. And we'll talk about that in detail later today. But
yeah, in the fourth hour. By the way, they SWAT teamed. They SWAT teamed Benny.
That's right.
I mean, this Leanne.
That's right. They trumped up charges against these people when they hadn't done anything. That's what Hillary Clinton will do, whatever she wants, but she will punish her enemies just as we've seen them try to punish these NSA whistleblowers.
That's right. Leanne McAdoo, when you were around